Hello and welcome to the Manhattan Beach Badminton Club International Series Open Badminton Championships, Manhattan Beach, California, Road to Rio event 2016. We're about to watch the mixed doubles event featuring Bjorn Seguin of the United States and his mixed partner Mariana Ugalde of Mexico City, and they're playing against Tony Gunawan and Maribel Huang. Um, Tony lives out in Diamond Bar area, Pomona, and Maribel lives in Diamond Bar, and they both play out of the San Gabriel Valley Badminton Club number 2 out in Pomona. I'm here today with Joy Kitzmiller, U.S. Olympian, and John Britton, U.S. National Champion, both of whom are from Manhattan Beach, and we're here to do the commentary, talk about the match, and enjoy some really high-level badminton.
And this is the first game of the semifinals, and it's featuring actually 3 American players, which is great for the home country. And Tony is actually playing with a young lady he coaches in Mirabel. So this should be interesting. We have the second oldest player in the semifinals, and Tony Gunawan, who's only bettered by the veteran Matt Fogarty of the United States, who we will see later in the men's doubles. But he's partnering with the youngest player in the semifinals, and it should be, experience and youth against a very good team from the U.S. and Mexico.
It's ironic because they're inverted ages. He's 41 and she's 14. So that's just a statistical anomaly that's taken place here.
But the 2 American players involved know each other really well, so it should be interesting. The idea for both the men is probably to attack the women as much as possible, especially as Mirabel is so young and doesn't quite have the experience that her opponent Mariana has in international play.
Yeah, this is the first time that Maribel's been in a semifinal of an international tournament at 14. I mean, she can't been in too many tournaments, period. She's only been playing 4 or 5 years, and primarily plays in juniors. What's going to occur here, Joy, with the women's position in mixed? What are we going to be looking for?
Normally, the woman, when she plays, she focuses on the serve and primarily plays toward the net. And most of the time, she'll try to keep it low so that the other team will lift the bird and put their team in an offensive position.
Traditionally, the man's role is at the back of the net, but with modern training and modern tactics, we see the women quite often at the back now with much better conditioning, much better strength from the women. It's more like a regular doubles. If one team's attacking, it doesn't matter who's at the back. One of the pair will be at the back of the court and the other will be at the net. And you'll see them alternate positions.
It's kind of funny because when I was talking to Maribel before the match, I asked her, I said, Maribel, what's your strength? And she goes, power. And she's only about 5'1" and 110 pounds. She's little, but her attribute is her power.
Okay, so we're getting ready to start here. The Mexico-U.S. combination won the toss and have elected to serve. So Maribel's going to get this mixed doubles match underway. 0-0. And right away, opening with a flick serve, putting Maribel under a little bit of pressure. She's showing a little signs of nerves, but she's got a very experienced partner.
Yeah, all of these players, except for Maribel, have played quite a bit. One thing to keep in mind nowadays in the modern game, of course, is that badminton is 2 out of 3 games to 21 points using rally scoring. You score a point no matter who serves, and you can play as much as 30 points. Sudden death at 29 all. Big setup, and Maribel demonstrating her power as she hits Bjorn in the gut.
And that should give her a lot of confidence. Easy shot put away. Very nice deceptive drop shot from Bjorn there, winning the point.
Bjorn to serve.
And a good strong smash from Maribel, winning the point. Bjorn can get it back.
Yeah, Marianne's now put away 2 birds into Bjorn's body. And there was an instance that John talked about earlier about the girl covering the back. Bjorn was perfectly comfortable letting Mariana go behind him and play the back of the court while he covered the front.
Excellent round-the-head shot by Bjorn.
A very good rally, all 4 players moving around, interchanging positions, and the Mexican-US combination winning the point.
So now what you're seeing here happens a lot in badminton, the same way it would in baseball. If the pitcher doesn't like the ball, he changes it. In badminton, whoever has the bird pretty much has a free rein to ask for a new bird, new shuttlecock, and they generally allow them to change the shuttle. We'll go through quite a few of these in one match. They're an really interesting anomaly when it comes to sports because it's not a ball, it's not a rock, it's a strange cone made out of goose feathers and cork, and it accelerates extremely quickly off the racket and slows down to almost a dead stop by the time it lands. It's really interesting projectile.
A powerful drive by Tony.
Yeah, that was a very good backhand drive by Tony, as Joy said, into the body of Bjorn, and Bjorn couldn't get it back. The score is 5-5 in the first game. And a well-judged drop shot from Tony there, causing Marianne to come in, and she couldn't get it back and keep it in the court.
Joey, what's it like, Joey, serving to the guy when you're the female and the guy's up there rushing and attacking you?
It's very intimidating. You have to adjust your serve to do it safely, and also have the option of a flick serve if you are really nervous.
Just an overpowering smash from Bjorn there. Maribel having difficulty getting it back.
Trying to get a little bit even on her, but he still hasn't hit her, and she's hit him twice. So for those of us keeping track of that.
She's ahead on points, is that what you're saying?
That's right.
Great serve.
But they're behind on points in the game.
A little bit of an error. Serve and serve return is so important in badminton, and especially in doubles.
So often in a badminton rally, the rally will only go on for 2 or 3 points based on the serve. And
a serving error there. Now returning error. And Maribel made 3 errors on a row there and looking a little bit worried, but she's very experienced, so I'm sure she'll overcome it. Tony with some great serving though.
wow.
Okay, another great rally. Players moving all 4 corners. Maribel at the back. And with the score reaching point, we have a 1-minute break.
Yeah, there's a 1-minute break. What happens in badminton is that there is this 1-minute break in between at 11. There's a 2-minute break at the end of the game, and the players are allowed to have coaching. I don't see anybody in the coaches' chairs, but there are coaches' chairs back there, and the score is actually 11-8. It's showing 10-8 on the graphic at the moment, but the team from USA and Mexico is out in front. The more experienced team, really, even though Tony has all the experience in the world as an Olympian gold medalist and all of that, Tony Gunawan, it's really difficult when you're only 14 years old and it's your first. Oh, they're ahead. Tony and. Wow, there's Tony's. So they're out ahead 10.
So the graphic on the screen is wrong, which is why we sound a bit confused.
Oh.
Tony and Mirabelle are ahead, 12-8. There it is now. It's been changed. So that's the correct score. Sorry. Another
service error.
Serving return error from Mirabelle. And this is the biggest lead of the game, 5 points. The U.S. team ahead. And Joy, I'm very impressed with the way Mirabelle's playing. She's very young, but she's on great composure. And she seems to be showing no sign of nerves.
She just keeps it low and sets Tony up.
And a string of unforced errors.
And it's funny because it looks like an easy enough shot to hit, but if you don't move your feet and have your whole body moving, when you're executing that backboard drop, it's very easy for the bird, since it has no real acceleration on it in the first place. It's really easy for that shuttle to just end up in the net. It just dies.
Some fantastic net play from both teams there.
Nice block.
Great shot.
By Ugalde.
And Mirabelle using her, Mariana using her left-handedness to great advantage there, anticipating coming off of that drop shot winner.
Really tough to serve to Tony.
Just long.
Well left.
Oh, that was
excellent net play.
Great shot to get it back beyond, but Michelle on her toes, putting away for the point.
Oh, good spot.
And another loose shot by Tony put up, and Bjorn with the easy kill. And that 5-point lead's dissipated. It's now 16-all in the first game.
Good serve.
Very good serve, unforced error.
Beautiful shot by Tony. Cross-court
that's
drop.
The difficulty when you're playing an event like mixed doubles, because if the guy hits the drop that goes to the net, generally speaking, the girl will go up and cover the net, but he hit it in such a way that it left Mariana uncertain as to whether or not she would cover that shot cross-court or not, and Tony pushed it in there, and instant winner.
Lovely shot by Tony, setting up the kill. That was set up by a beautiful backhand drop shot by Tony. Bjorn struggled to get it back, and Tony put it away. 19-17 for the Americans.
Beautiful around the head cross-court drop by Bourne.
Bringing them back to within 1 point of the American pair.
Wow.
Fantastic shot by Tony there.
Backhand smash, cross-court.
From behind him even, it made it even more impressive. 2018, this is a game point situation right here. Oh, and Bjorn holds it with a great rush.
Yeah, he anticipated the low serve there.
Yep, to
Put it back in the
Marianne's
body.
credit, she got the serve in. She didn't miss it.
That's it, though.
And that's it. Game one is in the books. 21-19 in favor of the coach and his student.
Age and beauty. Well, what do you think about the young player there, Joy?
She was very steady, and she made very few errors and set up Tony very nicely.
Yeah, her maturity certainly surprised me to play at this level. And she made very few mistakes. And they managed to put Tony and Mariana under pressure. And it was Mariana, they made a few more mistakes than the youngster. But both teams played very well. And there were some good rallies, and it was an exciting game.
What
Mariana.
What do you think was the biggest difference in that game, Joy, as it related to the females and how they played?
Well, what John was saying, which is true, Mariana made 4 or 5 unforced errors during that game in the service component of the game. She made 4 or 5 unforced errors in both the service and the serve return.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we are referring to Maribel as a inexperienced player, but she has played in the World Junior Championships, so that's a step up
Well,
to playing at
that's
this
her
level.
big aspiration, actually. What she is she's a freshman in high school at Diamond Bar High School, 14 years old, and her favorite subjects are math, and she quit playing the piano so that she could dedicate herself full time to the badminton. And it's really interesting because she's playing in a tournament with her coach, which is really unusual at this level.
Which is probably why they didn't have a coach come out and talk to them during the break, because the coach is already on court with her.
That makes sense, right? And
Yeah.
I think that Bjorn coaches Mariana as well, so that explains that as well, huh?
Well, that's a piece of useless information, but it
Thanks,
helps us
Dean.
out.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Dean.
So we're underway. Second game's underway, and the Mexican-U.S. combination get on the board first.
So in case you're just joining us here, we're in the second game. Game 1 has gone to Tony Gunawan and
Maribel Huang
of Diamond Bar. They are 1-0 in the semifinals of the Manhattan Beach Badminton Club International Series Championships Road to Rio event. Road to Rio, Tony Gunawan is a former gold medalist in the Olympic Games, and he's playing with his student, Maribel Huang, who's a freshman at Diamond Bar High School, and they're playing against Bjorn Seguin. Grew up and lived in France his whole life. He's a U.S. citizen, trains and lives in Paris, and he's playing with his girlfriend, Mariano Ugalde from Mexico City. So this is truly an unusual match. I'm here today with Joy Kitzmiller and John Britton, both of Manhattan Beach. Joy's an Olympian, and John Britton's a multiple national champion in the sport of badminton, as well as many other sports.
And many nations.
And many nations, that's true, from Scotland to the States.
Lovely service return by the young American there. U.S. have pulled out a 4-2 lead.
Beautiful service return inside the line.
So that was quite a powerful smash down the line away from his opponents. These shuttles will go up to a couple hundred miles an hour coming off the racket. They slow down to almost 0. Tony has a very, very powerful smash, probably not as good as it was 5 years ago. Bjorn is in his prime, and that was the smash from Bjorn a moment ago, which is still as good as it gets. Bjorn told me, we were in Mexico City a couple weeks ago at the Mexican Grand Prix, and they practice those dives nowadays, much like volleyball players and basketball players practice diving. The badminton players in their footwork now literally practice diving and getting up and using their hands and their arms to help to keep them from getting injured when they hit the floor.
What's interesting to me is, I said at the start that I thought the Mexican-U.S. combination would attack the youngest player, but they're not. Bjorn's quite happy smashing to Tony. He's hitting it straight, not going cross court to attack the youngest.
You're right.
Huh.
And that may explain why Tony and his partner are out in front here in this one too, right? Tony's able to exploit the openings.
It might be a factor. Tony actually didn't attempt the winning point. He went cross court. He was not a great shot off the top of that by Bjorn. Maribel did so well to get the first two back, but couldn't pull up those one after back. So point to the US national pair, but they trail 5-8 in the second game, having lost the first.
So they play 2 out of 3 to 21 using rally scoring. So it doesn't matter who serves, you can score a point. If the score is tied at the end of the game, like say 19 all or 20 all, 21 all, you have to win by 2 points. Once you get to 29, it's sudden death, and the match or the game ends definitively at 30 points. There aren't too many of those.
That service might be
Maribel hit it.
And it's into the seats.
4 and 5 shots actually went to Maribel. Tony managed to get one back.
And unlike baseball, when the shuttle flies up into the seats, you have to give it back. The shuttles are expendable. They'll use anywhere from 2 or 3 to, I've used 36 in a match in the past. But they have to go back into the system before they let you change it. The umpire or the service judge has to physically look at it and make sure it has, much like a baseball umpire with a baseball for a pitcher. It's right there in front of us.
Bjorn and Mariana to tie the score, 9 points each. Risking a flick serve there, but too strong, it was out. Remember in doubles, it's the inside back line for service. In singles, you can serve all the way to the back line.
She had him on that serve, but it went out, unfortunately, for Maribel.
Maribel tried to return the comment by flicking him, but she also hit it. There's a net shot just wide.
There's a lot of short pushes, like a cat and mouse game, to try to get the bird set up for a smash. And that's the quickest and most interesting part of the game.
And again, this time the Mexican U.S. combination has taken the lead at the break. It's 11-10 to Bjorn and Mariana, so we have that 1-minute break. As Dean noted in the first game, no coaches are coming on.
So what you're hearing in the background right now is that there's 2 courts going on during this championships for the first couple of matches here this afternoon, and so they're introducing court number 5, which is not our TV court. So that's the background you're hearing. There's a really strong women's singles going on over there, and we're back into our game.
We're at the halfway point with Bjorn and Mariana ahead 11-10. A good smash from Tony, weak return from Mariana, and another put away. So the score tied 11-all. Good defense from Marianne there, but it wasn't enough. They kept plugging away at her. Tony puts it away for the win. 12-11 the score for Tony and Maribel. And
So there, Tony exploited the fact that Mariana does move backwards in the court and doesn't move forward, because that was into her backhand side as a lefty, and it was into Bjorn's forehand. But with their rotation, the way they play it, it didn't work to their advantage at all.
for those that live in Manhattan Beach, we know it's about location, location, and location.
That's very true, right?
Oh, beautiful backhand smash. by Bjorn.
Score tied at 13. Another serving error.
By Mariana.
It's called good, so the Americans win the point, but I don't think Bjorn and Mariana are too happy with that call.
One thing that you'll notice, too, is you'll wonder, why don't they serve the bird way to the very back of the court when there seems to be another 2.5 or 3 feet that the players could use?
Great smash from Tony. The lead's extended to 3. Good anticipation beyond there coming in. He thought Tony was going to play a drop shot to the net, and he did. He's able to run in and push it into the corner for a point.
So it's 14 to 16 now, with Bjorn serving. Maribel hitting a nice soft return that was lifted, and
Forced
Tony
the lift.
Gunawan just crushes it.
Wasn't exactly the best of lifts. It was a bit short to Tony.
Yep.
That was like a carbon copy of the last point.
So Tony and Maribel pulling away here, 4-point lead within 3 points of the game and the match.
It might be like you're holding it too far away, so the microphone has to go really small.
Wow, beautiful return.
And again, I don't know why this U.S. Mexican team don't attack the lady. Tony's a world champion in doubles. He can play this game. But they're attacking him, and you just saw the results.
Good return, service return into the body. Forces the error.
So Bjorn, Mariana serving. Tony drops it, leaves Maribel in the back. Very powerful, but an inch and a half too low.
So 16-19.
2 in a row, unforced really. She's in position to hit those. Little tight. A chance
Great
to
smash.
redeem herself, and she does it. Puts it away on the guy.
Great smash gives the U.S. team match point. Bjorn wiping off the court because he made a good effort to get it back, and there's a bit of sweat and stuff on the court. One of our official floor cleaners coming on to mop up any dampness. Players take the time to towel off. A lot of pressure on Bjorn and Mariana right now, though, because Tony and Maribel have a 3-point lead and only need 1 to earn the championship.
Tough serve here. Gets it in. And Bjorn buries it. If you hit a clear that's not a clear as a high deep shot to the back, you hit one of those that doesn't go all the way to the back, it pretty much ends up on the floor on your side.
That's a beautiful shot. Wasn't exactly cleanly hit. That's why he raised his racket in apology.
The American-Mexican team needs to endure one more match point.
That's it.
A bad serve, and it's over. Tony Gunawan puts it away, and the match is over. 21-19, 21-19. A total 4-point differential, but one is going to the finals, and the other one is done. What do you think, Joey? How did the match go? Did it play out kind of as we expected it?
Yeah, I expected the Americans to win that one. The difference there, I think, were the errors on the part of the women, and I think the strength of Tony Gunawan as a mixed player.
Yeah, I think both the men did very well, and as Joy said, the ladies made a couple of errors, but it was great that Maribel didn't show any sign of nerves or any inexperience. And the one comment I would have is, why didn't the Mexican-American team, Bjorn and Mariana, attack the youngster more? The only time I remember Bjorn actually attacking her was the point before match point there, when he smashed cross court and smashed through her. And I think if they attack the young girl a little bit more, it might pay benefits for them.
I would have agreed completely. You would have tried to attack the inexperienced player and at least given yourself a chance that way. Well, we'll be back in a moment with our next match.
The Manhattan Beach Badminton Club would like to thank the following sponsors for their generous support of the 2016 Manhattan Beach International Open. Farmers Insurance, Russo Design, Chevron, Wells Fargo, Connecta, Shade Hotel, Stroik, City of Manhattan Beach, Porsche, MBX, Portraits of Hope, Strand House, McDonald's, Manhattan Beach Downtown, Houlihan Lokey, Skechers, Patty Brown Physical Therapy. The Manhattan Beach Badminton Club would like to thank the following sponsors for their generous support of the 2016 Manhattan Beach International Open. Ashaway, HL Badminton, Maccabi USA, McDonald's, Rockin' Brews, Rockin' Fish, Bruco,
Many people think that badminton is in the park with your sister and a couple of friends, and you just kind of hit the bird around. It's nothing like that. Badminton is the world's fastest racket sport. A badminton bird comes off at 200 miles an hour, and if you think that that's fast, wait until you play it. You really get an opportunity to see this at a very top level, especially the fact that we're having this Olympic trials here in town in February. It's the greatest aerobic sport in that you have to move in all directions. You're swinging the racket in every different way. The rallies are very long, much different than tennis, where you might hit it 3 or 4 times and think that's a great rally. It's a sport that is very mental as well, because you have to be mentally tough to be able to play at this high level. So when it comes to conditioning, you've got to be at your best conditioning, because you know you're going to be out in that court for a very long time. And there are 3 fundamental strokes. It's the clear, the drop, and the smash that are what makes a player.
And what'd they say?
You're good on that. Okay. You're terrible on this. You're horrible. I'm only terrible when I eat it.
Yeah, that's right. So you'll have to sterilize that.
So I'm going to do this time. Now, all I'm going to do is welcome to Manhattan Beach Badminton. You guys are going to read their names and do that stuff.
I can't pronounce them.
That's Madeloni.
Okay, you introduce them now. Where's my note?
Neither of these guys is Indonesian. This is just 2 guys. Gold and it's Hob.
What game are we doing?
Mexico. Boy singles.
Hob Castillo of Mexico.
Oh, okay.
And
He's a legitimate Olympic hopeful. Welcome to the Manhattan Beach Badminton Club International Championships Road to Rio event. Broadcast here from Manhattan Beach, California, in Southern California, for those of you who aren't familiar with our area. It's a wonderful location. We've got great weather. We're here today, and we've got the men's singles semifinals featuring a player from Italy and a player from Mexico.
The Italian, his name is Rosario Maddaloni, and he's seated number 7 in the tournament. And the Mexican, his name is Huang Castillo, and he is an Olympic hopeful for Mexico.
And we'll just revert to them as Rosario from Italy and Hope from Mexico. And it's great to see competitors from as far away as Italy playing. Interestingly, they have 3 players in the semifinals, and they have 2 men in the men's singles semifinal and 1 lady in the ladies singles final. So we can say the Italians are singles specialists, I would think. And both players just feeling each other out. They're a bit apprehensive to hit the bird back to the back of the court. And right now they're keeping the bird low, but playing it quick, flat over the net, driving it over the net.
For those of you watching today's match, we've got myself, Dean Shoppy. I'm here from Manhattan Beach, along with Bob Gilmore from Lake Forest, California, and John Britton and Joy Kitzmiller, both Manhattan Beach. John Britton, many-time national champion. Joy Kitzmiller, Olympian. Bob Gilmore, champion extraordinaire, Southern California, and myself. Bob, what do you expect to see here today in the men's singles? What do you expect to see out of this?
Well, I think both these guys are runners. They're not quite the shot makers that the other semifinal is going to have, but these two are runners, and they are going to work hard.
And you can tell that they like running because they're not serving the shuttle high to the back. They're playing mostly low serve so far, which encourages a quick game as we see in this rally. A lovely flat drive back to the backhand corner, winning the point. And the Mexican player, Job, has
Taking the lead 4-1.
Beautiful shot, and the Italian player actually fooled him on the shot. A little deception and got it behind him.
again, both guys continuing with the short, low serve. They're a bit wary of lifting it high because both these gentlemen have very strong smashes. And Job's leading by 5 points to 2.
Point for Maddaloni, 3-5.
The Italian doing most of the pressing in these early stages, hitting it hard, hitting it flat. And Job a little bit more defensive. Oh, unlucky with that shot. Both players using their full armament to try and win the point, being very cagey, moving their opponent to all corners of the court. And unfortunately, a simple mistake on the smash from our Italian player lets the Mexican player get back into the game. 3-6. Tremendous shot again, keeping the attack up. He's not letting Rosario get back into the game, and it's paying dividends. He's 6-4 ahead.
John, it appears to me that the Italian player is working a little extra hard. He's doing most of the work at this point in the match.
Yeah, but he's forcing the play. You know, he wants to keep attacking. He wants to keep the pressure on Job. See how quickly the Italians get onto the bird. He's not playing too many defensive shots. He's always attacking, always making the Mexican player lift it. Moving Job around the court, and just long.
Too bad. That was a beautiful attacking clear. It looked like he had the opposing player, but missed it long.
Job is being made to scramble much more than he would like. He's not being allowed to settle and play the shots he wants. And that's how Rosario is ahead at this point. Just keeping the pressure on. No let up yet. And another, he's still attacking. But this one just a little bit long.
Another unforced error.
But what I like about the Italian player is continually pressurizing Rosario from Mexico into playing loose shots to making mistakes. And that, as you said, that was an unforced error. But he was trying to keep the pressure on by playing that shot.
Too many unforced errors by the Italian player at this point, but he's still in the match.
The attacking game of the Italian does not look like it flusters the Mexican player at all. He seems very comfortable at this point.
Well, I think we can see that Job is 10-4 ahead, and the Italian, as you said, Joy, is pressing, but he's making mistakes while he's pressing. Bob pointed out he's hitting it long. That shot was an example. He may need to change his game plan because Rosario is quite happy standing back there and just returning everything that's hit at him.
Very nice rally there. It appears to me that the Mexican player is actually very patient at this point, and he's biding his time. It looks like he's going to try and wear out the Italian opponent, but the Italian is in very good shape. We watched a really long three-gamer last night that was exceptionally played well.
Yeah. We're at the 11th point, so at this stage in the game, they get a 1-minute breather. And as you know, they are allowed to be coached by coaches outside the court, but they're not taking it. They just turn around and are going ahead. 5-11.
At this point,
Now they have a break. I was wrong.
This score has been fixed on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. But they're now allowed, and as I said, no coaches are on. Well, I told you a story. Both players have their coaches on now for the minute break to help them make little adjustments to their game. But as Bob pointed out, Rosario is still attacking, and I don't think it's doing his game well, because Job is quite happy sitting back, returning everything, and as Bob pointed out, making Rosario work terribly hard. So let's see if the coach's involvement will change the setup here. Let's see if Rosario becomes a bit more patient in his approach. But the score has been adjusted, and Job Castillo from Mexico is ahead, 11 points to 5 over Rosario Maldoloni from Italy.
John, at this point, how does this compare to matches that you've either played in or watched in the past?
Well, the game I mean, it's a long time since I played at this level, but the game today is a lot faster, a lot more attacking. When you and I played, because you're not much younger, the game was more like a chess match. You'd hit slower shots to all four corners of the game. The game's changed. The singles is much more direct. You try and smash through people.
It is a much faster game now.
Much faster. You and I would never survive a singles game now. And there's Maldoloni showing his power. He's got a couple of points back since the break. It's 7-11. That smash knocked the stuffing out the bird, lost a few feathers, so we have a change of bird. Joy, you're a singles player. What do you notice about this?
I do notice the low flat game, and there's not that same, what we used to have was corner to corner, but the
Beautiful shot right there. He came to the net hard, caught it real high, played a nice tight net shot. The opposing player was not able to lift the bird out and keep the rally going.
So you're a bit younger than me, Joy. Do you notice the difference in single strategy since your international playing days?
Yes, because of the refinement of the footwork and the faster rackets, the corner-to-corner play is usually not the strategy of choice. However, now it looks like Mataloni is changing the strategy to corner-to-corner.
He's not quite attacking as much as he did, which I think was to his detriment. And now he's trying to slow the game down again. But the Mexican player still 12 points, stay in the lead to the game point of 21.
Beautiful shot right there. The Italian player is making too many unforced errors on his overhead shots.
I also wonder if the Italian player slowed the game down a bit because he was getting tired, because he exerted a lot of effort in the first 11 points, or the first half of that game.
I agree with you 100% because he definitely was working harder and is still working. Even when he has a setup, he's not able to put the bird away at this point.
Yeah, tremendous defense from Job, and we're seeing it in this rally. Great movement. Well, a very loose shot. He got the setup, but he smashed it wide.
Too many unforced errors. We're going to have to get our statistician on this and see how many unforced errors are that the Italian player is actually making. Beautiful shot. He was ready for that, all set up, waited for the shot, and then attacked it right back to his backhand.
Yeah, he figured out where he was going to, the shuttle was going to go. He anticipated it really well there and was able to cut it off for that cross-court backhand winner. Ooh, a little bit deception from Joe, but it didn't quite come off. He did have Mataloni.
He's taken the pace off of some of his shots, and it made it difficult for Castillo to execute.
We have a little bit of gamesmanship here right now. The Mexican player wanted to change birds, and the Italian player said it was fine. The referee ruled in favor of the Italian player.
That's a good point, Bob. Usually if one player wants to change it could be tactics, it could be just to put your opponent off. The referee will go along with it unless he thinks it's getting abused.
From my advantage here, I think that was a bad call made. The Mexican player is upset with the call, and I believe rightfully so, but the linesman did call it, so the referee has not overruled.
And I believe if the referee was supposed to overrule, and I agree with you, Bob, it looked out on our monitor on the replay.
It did look out.
The referee has to overrule the linesman, but the linesman has to say he was unsighted for the umpire to come involved in doing that. And
I will say this, being a linesman in this event is very difficult. It's something that I would not want to do.
Especially at your age. Great backhand there from Job. And Job very happy the linesman, in his opinion, got that one right.
It was a very smart play by the Italian. However, he missed it long. He's going to have to adjust his shots slightly.
That was the Italian played some softer shots, and
which is unusual for him because he's been attacking the whole time. But this softer shot's actually set up a chance for him to attack. He did, and he won the point. So he's within one at 13-14.
again sticking
Looks like
with
the referee ruled. Oh.
You may have seen the Italian guy hit the net on the follow-through of that shot. And that is not a fault if the bird or the shuttle is dead by that time. So the referee ruled that the shuttle had hit the floor before the Italian player hit the net, so he gets the point. Had he hit the net before the shuttle hit the floor, the Mexican player would have got the point. And Mr. Casillas snuck into the lead by a point, 15-14. Nobody's going to get that shot back. Tremendously steep, quick smash by Rosario.
Again, he's changed his game to have this tighter, softer shots, which set up the point.
Looks like we had an error on the scoring on the screen. We are now at 15-all. The Italian player has clawed his way back into this match.
And again, another relatively easy shot at this level, but unfortunately, Rosario hit it long, and he now trails by 16-15.
Beautiful shot there. He held him, deceived him, and then put it back to the forehand corner. 16-all.
And another shot going long. So Job is ahead, 17-16. Remember, the players are playing to 21.
Whoopah! What a shot there. He got a short shot, took advantage of it, smashing down the line to his forehand, and wins the point, ties it up at 17-all.
And that smash ruined the bird, so we change yet another bird. And again a question of the linesman. Rosario wins the point, but Job thought it was out. And Job's now been unhappy a couple of times with the calls from that far end of the court.
And both these calls are from different linesmen. So we've had two different linesmen make calls that the Mexican player was not satisfied with.
Hopefully he's professional enough not to let it affect his game. And we have a call from the side of the court. We have a service judge there that called a service fault. So Rosario picks up, Job picks up an easy point. It's at 18.
Oh!
He had it, but another unforced error. Have you come? Joy, can you tell us the serving rule? Why was that called illegal?
There is your racket head needs to be distinctly below your hand when you serve. And that may have been that the racket head was too high.
Okay, thank you.
Those were two critical errors at that point. Oh, and now the Italian player changed the game a little bit, threw in a defensive clear just to start the rally, and he got an unforced error there.
And the referee allowing him to towel off. They both walked off the court, which they're not supposed to do without the umpire's permission, but they're both toweling off. And the umpire, you notice from his hand motion, is trying to get them back on the court. But at 19-all, they need a little bit of a breather because it's very crucial, certainly for Rosario. He can't afford to lose the next 2 points.
It's critical right now, isn't it, John, Joy?
Yeah, we're down to the wire.
Oh, so close, but I believe close is only good in horseshoes. So that unlucky shot gives Job Castillo from Mexico the first match point.
Game point. Sorry.
Oh!
First game goes to Castillo, 21-19.
I'm sorry. I got the score wrong.
Another unforced error by the Italian costs him the first game. 21-19.
A match is the best of 3 games, and when you get old, you only play 1 game. So if I was playing, it would be match point. But these guys, best of 3 games, so you need to win 2 games to win the match. And now they have a 2-minute break between the first and second game, and you can see both coaches have become involved. You may remember that Rosario was about 5 points behind at the break, 11-5, when he had his first meeting with the coach. And he changed his game slightly, slowed it down, didn't attack quite as much, and he managed to claw his way back into the game. But unfortunately couldn't keep it close enough, and Job came out ahead 21-19.
I think that the strategy change was probably the right one, and it did work, but Castillo was able to adjust.
I agree with Joy, it certainly worked, but again, as Bob had pointed out, Rosario makes too many unforced errors. And it doesn't matter if it's out by half an inch or half a mile, it's still out. So.
If Rosario can cut down on his errors, he's right back in this match. That was a close first game.
And that was a crucial difference in the players.
Absolutely. In fact, he made a service fault, which cost him 1 point, and then he gave the very next point away when he had a setup in the net. Just maybe a little bit too excited at this point. I would think he's going to settle down, and this is going to be a hard-fought battle between these two guys who are really runners.
And they're about ready to go, so we'll see if there's a game change and what happens.
Oh, beautiful shot.
Good quickness by both players.
I will say this. It seems like Castillo is able to defend well on a smash. His smash hasn't gotten through him. So the Italian player is doing a little extra work running because he hasn't been able to win the point outright with a smash.
Great quick play, keeping the bird flat. You don't want to lift it. He has to lift it there. But now it flattens out. We're keeping it low, keeping it flat.
Nice.
A good 27-shot rally.
A very nice defensive lift to Castillo, and he's made an error. This is the second time he's had a defensive clear to him where he's made a simple error. I think maybe the flat game suits Castillo a little bit better than you think, and I think the Italian player should maybe play a few more defensive clear shots.
Job did well, setting that smash up for himself. Unfortunately, hit it inches wide.
If you're just joining us, we are in Manhattan Beach, California for the last qualifying event of the Olympic Games. And we have a player from Italy versus a player from Mexico in the semifinals of the men's singles match.
And both these players entered the tournament seeded. Rosario from Maldolino from Italy was ranked 7th, and Job Castillo of Mexico was ranked 8th. So the 7th and 8th seeds have done very well to get into the 4th and 1st seeded spots in the men's singles.
Two very nice pushes off the net from the Italian player, and I believe the Mexican player thought he had him, but both times he was able to get the bird out.
Oh,
A little trickery there. The Italian player tried to throw in a little trick shot to try and fool him. It didn't fool him, and that's probably why he missed the shot into the net. Good eye. It appears right now that the Mexican player is showing signs of fatigue. This is the first time I've noticed it. John or Joy, have you noticed this before?
I think it's the same thing you were talking about, the defensive clear. Then when the pressure's on to make a shot, that's when he's making mistakes.
yes, he certainly had to work very hard in the first game, and now he's working very hard in the second, but he's defending stubbornly. He's trying to turn defense into attack. A good dive. Great stuff. A little bit indecision there. He thought it was going to go out the back, and he hesitated to play his backhand, and it ended up hitting it into the net.
Rosario's also mixing it up more than he did. He seems to be hitting it cross court and straight, alternating front and back more than the flat game.
I think Castillo is playing great defense at this point, but he's definitely showing signs of fatigue. And when that bird came up to him, he made a simple, unforced error into the net. Beautiful shot at the net. Rosario was waiting for it. He had a nice tight net shot, and he jumped on it. Almost got a facial there. Again, Castillo is showing signs of fatigue. He's going over to towel off, and he dove for the play. So now they have to clean the court slightly. They don't want any wet spots. Players can slip on the wet spot and get injured.
And it also gives the players a little chance for a drink of water, a little bit chance of rest. And I think, as you were saying, Bob, I think Job's a little bit tireder than Rosario, and he probably needs the rest. The Italians moved out to a 6-2 lead in the second game, having lost the first. That's a crucial mistake. You don't want to give your opponent 3 points, and that's just what happened.
Never serve into the net. You've got to get the bird in play and force your opponent to make shots. Oh.
And again, another error from Mr. Castillo. He's actually praying for a point. Now, I think you're right, Bob. He's getting tired, and he's just hoping the bird out, and he was wrong in that case.
I agree with you 100%, John. He was there for it, but he was hoping the bird was going out, and he is showing signs of fatigue. The Italian player played a battle last night, a 3-game battle with a player from Uganda, and I didn't think he had a chance after seeing the first game. He came back and won the third game handedly.
Yeah. And there's actually a bit more at stake for Job Castillo in this, because he's still hoping to play in this in the Olympics, and this tournament earns points for Olympic qualifying. The Italian, unfortunately, is a bit far down the rankings and has no chance to play singles in the Olympics. So maybe Job's feeling the pressure that he needs to pick up some points here to increase his rankings so he'll qualify. And interestingly enough, Job is ranked number 2 in Mexico, and Rosario is number 2 in Italy.
Oh, I was about to mention that he has cut down on his errors, and now he makes a simple, unforced error. The last point lost was a forced error. The player hit a great shot, but this one was a simple, unforced error.
What Job's done is he's, before in the first game, he was pushing the pace of the game and taking no time at all between points. And now he's changed it to take a lot more time, and so that it gives him time to settle down, and it is actually affecting the Italians' game.
We are right on this line. There's a little glare here, and that was a tough one to call. At first, I thought it was out, but it appeared to maybe hit the back edge of the line.
And the 24-year-old from Mexico getting a little bit tired here, starting to run out of steam, getting a little bit frustrated, but he is only 3 points behind, and with rally scoring, that can be overcome quite quickly.
Oh.
A great get. And again.
Excellent return by Castillo. He was in trouble, looked like the point was lost, got the bird back in play, but the Italian hit an attacking clear to the forehand, and it looked like it caught the back edge of the line again.
And badminton is a game of inches. If you can get that close to the line, it's just that much harder for your opponent to get the bird.
Joy, these shots, the Italian player was making mistakes on those in the first game, and now he's actually keeping it in. And as soon as I speak, he makes an unforced error off of his backhand.
That's the announcer's curse, Bob. As soon as we say something, the exact opposite happens.
Another unforced error. Simple, he's letting him back in the game when he doesn't have to, especially with, he's 1 point away from the interval where he gets a little break and a little coaching. Oh, another unforced error. He had the Mexican player in trouble, fooled him, got the bird behind him, and then made a simple error.
The Mexican was behind, and he never showed signs of stress. He has relaxed and gotten back into the game.
As we said, 3 points is not a big difference in badminton.
Four errors in a row now. It's put him right back in the game. It is 10 all, 1 point to the interval.
4 points behind, and his opponent makes 4 errors, and as Bob said, it's 10-10.
No doubt about that shot. The Italian jumped all over it. He saw it coming, got a loose shot at the net, and took advantage of it.
So we now have a minute break for the players where they're allowed to receive coaching, towel off, have a rest, whatever they need. And I wonder what the Italian coach will tell Mr. Madaloni. He had a good lead and he blew it. What do you think, Joy?
He's going to have to go back to the corner-to-corner game that he was playing, and that seemed to work better than the flat game. I think the Mexican has lured him back into the flat, fast game, and the Italian needs to go back to the corner without the unforced errors.
Thanks, Coach. Good advice.
I agree 100%. I think the Italian players should throw in some defensive clears at this point, defensive shots to the back line, because the Castillo from Mexico has made unforced errors when he's had time to think about the shot.
So if that opening rally is anything to go by in the second part of this game, Joy's advice to the Italian is correct. He is slowing it down, moving it around, but he came off at the losing end of that rally. So Joe sneaks into a 12-11 lead.
He's caught up to 11 all. There we go.
Two beautiful shots. He pushed the bird, drove the bird to the forehand corner. Castillo hit a weak shot back, and then he attacked it down his backhand side. Now, these players are being punished right now because at this point, it is real warm in here.
Another service fault called. Another service fault called there, and Rosario not too happy with that.
Did the referee say it was his racket was too high?
I didn't notice it. I just heard fault called. He might have been moving his feet.
Yeah. There's also a foot fault. You can't move your feet while you're serving.
Well, you can move your feet, but you can't lift them off the ground.
You can't leave the ground, yes.
Beautiful play.
He
Beautiful
does that
play.
shot brilliantly. Forces Rosario into the, Rosario forces Job into the back corner and immediately heads cross court for that backhand drop, which he did there and killed it.
Very nice play.
Very good. Now it was Job's turn to attack. Score tied at 13.
Unforced error again. The Italian player has made a few mistakes here. He's let him back in the match. And at this point, if he loses his match, it's because of 2 serves into the net and 2 faults on his serve, which cost him at a critical point in this match. Another simple error on the Italian's part. Just simple. All he has to do is get the bird in. If the player beats him at it, that's fine. But if you make errors in the net, the player doesn't have to move, doesn't have to react. Beautiful
Great return. Yep, great return. Another great return.
Beautiful drop shot. Did not fool Castillo. The deep shot did fool him. Right on the line.
It was a deep shot that was out of Castillo's reach. He's been in a lot of deep shots where Castillo can cut it off.
He's definitely affected him on his forehand corner. He's been able to get the bird behind him and then get short shots off of it. Both players are tired at this point. It is 14-15. The gym is quite warm. I don't know what the temperature is at this point, but it's quite warm, so it's got to be very difficult for them.
So Rosario serving, trailing by 1, 14-15.
A loose shot by the Italian. Gets away with it with a backhand defense that the Mexican player was not able to handle.
15-15. Crucial part of the game. And I think that's fatigue, Bob, playing a part there. He just doesn't want to go for them, and he's hoping they're out. He's left several at the back that have caught the line or actually been inside the line. And he's definitely looking tired. He's walking around between points. He's gone off for the odd wipe the towel in the brow to have a break, and now he's taking his time, getting his breath back.
Beautiful.
Lovely
Perfect.
shot.
Beautiful shot there. He was patient. He got a short shot and attacked the net. He did a beautiful lunge to come into the net, caught it early and pushed it to the forehand corner. 0.1 outright.
Again, Job slowing the play down between the points to get his breath, catch his breath. Well anticipated by Rosario.
Yes.
Oh, but even better
Beautiful net play.
anticipation.
Rosario got beat on the shot, but he was actually waiting for the forehand smash, caught it early, knew what he was going to do with it, but was not able to execute on the next play. Now, at this point, Castillo is definitely showing signs of fatigue. It's 16-17. They're going to have to suck it up at this point. Castillo is walking around, and the referee's telling him to start play. Unforced error at a critical point in the match. 17-all, folks.
And Job Castillo won the first game, so he's within 4 points of winning the match this time.
Another unforced error. Joy, do you think he can come back from in this match with so many unforced errors?
Well, I think he's flustered now. He's going to have to calm down. Castillo has gotten the psychological advantage.
another unforced error. It appeared that he was going to make it a long rally and not make mistakes. He's made a huge unforced error there. It is 19-17.
Both players going walkabout, get their breath for the last few crucial points.
Castillo has masterfully controlled the pace of the game.
Yes, certainly Rosario has been the aggressor for most points, but as Bub's pointed out, unforced errors have cost them several occasions. So he hangs in there. Rosario saves one match point and moves within 18-20. But all Mr. Job needs is one opportunity to put this match away. And Rosario has 3 points to catch up, plus one more if it does go to 20-20.
Game won by Job Castillo of Mexico, 21-18.
And that was a very interesting game because all the attacking was done by Rosario, but as we pointed out, Job was happy defending and retrieving, and it paid dividends. In my experience, mostly the aggressive player wins the game, but I don't think that was quite the case today.
No, I think too many unforced errors cost him the match. A couple serves in the net and a couple service faults at critical times let the Mexican player continue with his game, gave him some momentum at critical points in this match. Beautiful match played. Just too many unforced errors by the Italian player.
Joy, what's your comments?
Again, I think that Castillo played the more mature match. He controlled the pace. Even when it got a little bit, he got behind, he was able to slow it down. He even pressured the referee to call him out on his stalling, and he was able to regain control.
So the 24-year-old from Guadalajara, Jalisco, in Mexico, the Mexican number 2, moves on to tomorrow's final, and we won't know until later who he will play in that final. Anything you want to add, Bob?
Okay, folks, we're going to take a little pause here for our next match coming up, and then we'll restart the matches in beautiful Manhattan Beach, California.
Is she from Greece or something?
Lithuania.
Aquila. Stapousaiti.
Aquila here.
That says AKV.
Oh, Aquila, okay. Aquila Stupaskita.
Aquila.
Oh, Chia, I forgot about